Happy Friday, everybody. This is Safe Weather meteorologist John Paul with your national weather forecast for today through the weekend and into next week. Let's go take a look at the maps. So, taking a look, this here is the National Weather Service page for all the watches and warnings that are going on across the United States right now. As we zoom in to the Midwest, Pennsylvania on into Ohio, Indiana, Illinois, down into Arkansas, Missouri, and even Oklahoma. Severe thunderstorm watches are in effect as we speak. This is the current image from the National Weather Service at weather.gov. All these show us all the warnings that are taking place for today's weather that's going across the eastern United States. Taking a look at the current satellite picture, you can see that that big mass of storms. I'm going to loop it for 24 hours. You can see that storm system develop and blow up across the Great Lakes region and move on into its current position, stretching from the Great Lakes down into the central plains into Oklahoma, where you've got those thunderstorm warnings as well. Notice out ahead of the front here in Pennsylvania and Ohio, we have showers and thunderstorms that have those severe weather warnings, and the front is all the way back here. So just because the front's not exactly in Pennsylvania yet, or Ohio, or parts of the southern Great Lakes, this storm is big enough to get some weather out ahead of it, a pretty good distance from the front itself. So moving on to the current radar picture, we're going to take a look right now at, this is basically a shot of the Great Lakes moving on down into Indiana, Illinois, Ohio, Pennsylvania. Main fronts here. Showers and thunderstorms moving well on out ahead of this system, and this is a good thing to keep in mind, because as this front moves in to the more eastern third of the United States, this is a kind of a busy map. This is the Saturday morning weather map. You can see that there's the front, there's the low. It's a lot further along now. Before we were just looking at it and it was back in here further west, but Saturday morning this front's going to be well defined all the way into western Pennsylvania, moving east towards the Atlantic. And even though all these bright blues and greens are an indication of the amount of rain that's forecast for Friday night, for tonight, and it doesn't have anything out in eastern Pennsylvania, Maryland, and West Virginia, that doesn't mean it's not going to rain. We just saw on the last radar picture that we had showers and thunderstorms that were well out ahead of the front, and this is going to continue tonight as this front moves its way into the eastern 30th of the United States. Those more widely scattered showers and storms, even though there's nothing indicated here, they're going to start coming overnight. They were already into Pennsylvania already. I wouldn't be surprised, even though I heard at least one forecaster saying that would be a dry, nicer day across the Philadelphia area. There is certainly a chance of a shower or a thunderstorm. I wouldn't rule that out at all. I don't totally agree with that. One of my associates, not fellow meteorologists, who said that. We're certainly fair game, even in Philly, even though the front's all the way out in Ohio, and Indiana. Come tomorrow morning, this is an 8 a.m. Map where the front is. So it's not going to be a clear day for sure. It's going to be a lot of clouds around. Jumping ahead to this is the map for let me take a look what the time is for this map. This is Saturday night. This is Saturday night. You can see the cold front moving all the way down off the coast. All the greens and the colors indicating where the rainfall is expected to be the most significant are these colors here. And where you see these V's out over the open water here and then here, that's you draw a line, a front line right between the middle of this V, and that's where the front is. So late, well after dark on Saturday night, the front is well past, and our storm situation across the eastern United States is hopefully a memory. Taking a look at what's next. Well, before I show another map, I should probably say this front, at least for Philly, it's going to be definitely cooler. It's been warm and muggy, summer-like, uncomfortable, humid. On Sunday, that's all going to change. It's going to be a lot less humid. It's going to continue to be less humid as we get into the week. Early next week. Tuesday is probably going to be when the cooler breezes that come behind this front tomorrow actually are going to end. The dew points, the measure of moisture and humidity in the air is actually going to continue dropping until we get to about Tuesday. And it's going to stay in the 70s mostly for the early part of next week and maybe get to the 80s by the end of the week, but it's not going to have the humidity that we had this past week. Anyway, so this has been meteorologist John Paul, and I'm looking at my ceiling now as we end this. I'm going to take my last shot. This is the Tuesday weather map. You can see on Tuesday the high pressure is centered well over Pennsylvania. All these tightly packed lines to the east of New Jersey show where it's been windier, winds coming out of the north. These are all the winds that we're going to get during the next several days from Sunday through Monday. And then as that high builds in for Tuesday, with it centered over Pennsylvania, at least according to this forecast, if it doesn't happen this way, then who's going to be surprised, right? But anyway, this big old storm here, this is probably going to be a combination of the front, which moved off our coast on Saturday night, combined with Tropical Storm Leslie and Hurricane, can't remember the name of the hurricane. Let's take a look here. Michael. Right now, these storms, Tropical Storm Leslie and Hurricane Michael, are well out in the Atlantic. This is where they are right now. This map also a product of the National Weather Service's National Hurricane Center. Each one of these storms is moving up towards the north and kind of on a collision course. So when we looked at this map here and we saw this huge bullseye, that's probably, if let's just assume that the map is actually what's going to happen, and all these, the front that gives us the severe weather on Saturday combines with Leslie and then combines with Michael and eventually turns us into this really big storm here, if this is what actually happens. We don't know that it will, so be sure to check in with the National Hurricane Center, which you can find on a link from weather.gov. It's at the bottom of the page. But anyway, this has been Safe Weather Meteorologist John Paul. Thanks for watching today. It's Friday, September 7th, getting to the end of September 7th, 2012. Okay, take care.